It is Friday. Welcome in at three-man front. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad on a gorgeous Friday. Friday the 13th. Ooh.
Don't. Come on. No. Start all that.
Will it be a good day for Joey Aguilar and Vol Nation? We'll find out about 12:30 this afternoon as Joey Aguilar will step foot in a courtroom there in Knox County, Tennessee, as he's the next guy up to try to get a victory against the NCAA like Trinidad Chambliss did yesterday. You know, I don't know how many of our audience like to. Oh, what is that noise? Oh, man. Listen to that. That is some good music right there,
Is this a tie-in to Valentine's?
Oh, man. Listen. Yeah, throw another dime, Trinidad.
Love it. I see what they did there.
I need a margarita.
You smell the coconuts.
Is that what you smell?
I think so.
Is that ganja?
Could be. Good old Mississippi ganja. Don't they grow it there at Ole Miss?
Ganja?
Yeah.
I don't.
That's somebody that went to Ole Miss that said that they do.
I mean, I'm sure some people in their apartments
No.
do.
No,
You talking about it's like authorized?
yes.
Oh,
It's high fenced
I don't know.
because they might have tried to get in the fence one time.
Oh, yeah, they are celebrating in North Mississippi. It took a while. Took an hour and 15 minutes for the judge to read his decision. Here's my question. As we were following it yesterday, so they break after lunch. They come back. Trinidad is on the stand. And then it's over. Everybody rests. And then it's like an hour later and he's ready to give his decision. Did he write his opinion? He's that quick writing his opinion in an hour, and then it took him an hour and 15 minutes to read his opinion. Do you see what I'm saying here? Did he prepare the opinion?
Well, he
in
was
the
writing a
morning session?
lot. He was writing a lot.
Okay.
I don't know how judges prepare their opinions. I'm guessing that maybe it's a particular style. It just depends on the judge. But he was writing a lot during that morning session before they broke for lunch.
So maybe he got a little bit of work done before.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of did a rough draft.
Kind of an outline, and then he was able to just plug it in.
No way he's using like Meta or AI or anything, right?
I have no idea.
You just plug it in there and it surmises everything and puts out a opinion.
5:40 p.m. And he was struggling. Towards the very end, it almost sounded like he was crying. But I think it was just the fact that he had.
You think Tonelli stayed open late?
Probably so.
Oh, yeah. Big business day for them yesterday.
The NCAA now has 30 days to appeal to the Mississippi Supreme Court. But there's no guarantee that the Mississippi Supreme Court would even accept the appeal. Based on what I heard yesterday, I think it's a pretty safe bet that the Mississippi Supreme Court will not be listening to an NCAA appeal. Now, the injunction allows Chambliss to be eligible through the entirety of the case. Now, keep in mind, this is still a live case. This is not like it was done yesterday. It ultimately is a case, and it will have to be heard, but getting it on a docket and getting it in front of a judge and everybody else, that's going to take some time. So Trinidad is going to be able to play this upcoming season. The judge, Judge Robert Whitwell, which we told you all about him yesterday, he eviscerated the NCAA.
Well, he did.
I mean, he absolutely took their knees out and decapitated them. But before he went into his long piece in regards to why he found that Trinidad was in the right and he was granted the injunction, a very bizarre thing happened in the courtroom. The NCAA the NCAA attorneys, they left.
By the way, I think it's funny how everyone was referencing the movie My Cousin Vinny, and we got a little bit of that.
Yeah. They left. Like I'm not a lawyer, and I'd love people on the text line to tell us if they've ever seen this before in a courtroom, that you are in there with a judge that where a law team is just not even present at all. Like
Well, they had to get to Knoxville.
Well, I know they had to get to Knoxville, but I mean, couldn't you keep one dude back?
I would love to hear from an attorney if that is.
Yeah, I mean, is that common practice?
It
was just bizarre to me.
Well, the judge obviously had a problem with it because now they're going to have to show a really, really good reason why they weren't there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, all right, let's listen to the judge. This is what he had to say yesterday when he looked up and saw that before he started reading the 1 hour and 15-minute decision, this is what he told the court.
When the court broke to go in chambers probably about an hour ago, I made an announcement that actually to the crowd that anybody could stay if they wanted to or leave. I didn't instruct the lawyers to leave to go anywhere. I've been advised that they have now left the premises, and the sheriff has confirmed to me that they are not in the courtroom and they're not in the parking lot. And they have told somebody that they had to be in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they were leaving. That's not the way it works. The court will, at some point, issue a show cause order to see why these defense lawyers should not be held in contempt of court and sanctioned by the court for their failure to be here for the ruling. They know better than to leave before the court makes its final decision.
Boom. So they could be held in contempt of court.
Yeah, I don't know if it depends on the judge, if it depends on the courtroom, the county, the state, but it seems like that the judge took it as very disrespectful.
As they should.
I agree.
Charlie Baker's released a statement, right?
Has Greg Sankey released his statement?
Touche.
But the judge just absolutely, I mean, they slapped the NCAA around like, oh my goodness. I mean, this was bad. Just a couple of quotes from his 1 hour and 15-minute diatribe against the NCAA. It says, it appears to the court that the NCAA chose to ignore the statements that Trinidad submitted from treating medical doctors and witnesses from Ferris State who had perfect knowledge of Trinidad's physical and medical condition. He goes on to say, the court finds that Trinidad Chambliss is an intended third-party beneficiary and the third party of an NCAA contract. The NCAA fell short in its development of Trinidad Chambliss as an athlete. The NCAA breached its duty of good faith and acted in bad faith. The NCAA never really sought the truth in its investigation, and therefore, based on the totality of circumstances and evidence, Trinidad could be successful on the merits at trial. That's why he was given the injunction.
Yeah, and reading through the opinion, it all made sense just based on the facts that we knew from the case leading up to it and during the case. I am going back to the lawyers not being present and reading on this. Ultimately, it says that the requirement for physical presence depends on the specific court rules, the type of case, whether it's criminal versus civil, and the nature of the hearing. But it goes back to say that it's very uncommon for the legal team not to be there, whatever the case may be.
I imagine they knew that it was not going to go in their favor,
course
which
they
doesn't
did.
Excuse it, but I think that was them waving the white flag, like, we're done with this.
It was very peculiar, though, because at one point when there was a cross-examination opportunity by the NCAA's attorneys on Trinidad Chambliss, the attorney got up there and paraphrasing said to his mother, it was Trinidad Chambliss's mother, you raised a great young man. I have no further questions.
Mm-hmm.
Bizarre. But if I'm an NCAA attorney, I got to go back to the state of Mississippi, Pat. It might not be in Pittsburgh, but I guarantee you every judge in that state is aware of what happened yesterday.
Sure.
Well,
It's
they love
just
their
disrespect.
Got to go back to the restaurant.
But why is anybody surprised? It's the NCAA. I mean, it just shows how laughable it was what happened in Alabama, that Alabama actually lost a case to the NCAA. I mean, maybe Tom Moore should have represented Bediako instead of the team that he had, because the team that he had didn't do a very good job.
I know judges are impartial, but this judge up in Tennessee that's going to hear the Aguilar case.
Well, I mean, it's...
Well, I'm saying it probably doesn't help when he sees the news that you disrespected a judge in another state.
Absolutely not.
No, they'll be ready today at 12:30. That's when it begins for Aguilar. Ole Miss released a statement last night talking about how excited they were that Trinidad, they were very grateful to the judge, very thoughtful consideration. The last line from Ole Miss, to me really stuck out. It says, Ole Miss Athletics will continue to advocate for our student athletes and support them in pursuing every opportunity afforded to them under the rules and the law. Thought that was very important. They didn't say NCAA rules. They just said rules and the law, because the law found that the NCAA was wrong. It's also interesting to note, and see, I would have been a smart aleck. Like, I would have made sure that I would have put in my statement the following. I would have said something like, rules are essential to the integrity of college sports, to the educational mission they serve. Because that was in the affidavit that Greg Sankey gave against Charles Bediako and the University of Alabama. But I have not yet to see a release from the SEC office on this situation or the NCAA and Charlie Baker, because it is about rules, about those rules being essential to the integrity of college sports, to the educational mission that they serve. Because obviously Trinidad Chambliss is now going to take a scholarship away from a young high school student that is trying to become a football player at Ole Miss.
Yeah, and that's the thing I got a problem with, because I'm here. I hear it from coaches. Now we're hearing it from Charlie Baker after this decision is made about the opportunities for young people being stolen. This is the most hypocritical thing to come from an organization that found a million different instances to be petty about a young person being eligible to play. Scholarship limitations. Realize Title IX was a part of that. But do we remember what scholarship limitations? It was to keep from stockpiling rosters. That was a part of it, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This is all very hypocritical. Everybody's guilty of everything in all of this.
So 12:30 today, Joey Aguilar and his legal team, they will be in a courtroom, a chancery court. That's what it's called, I understand. They're in Knox County. You've got a judge that graduated from UT. He actually taught at the law school this fall at the University of Tennessee.
I hope he comes in wearing a coonskin cap.
I hope he comes in with an orange robe instead of a black one, an orange robe. But interesting, I was reading some information about what's going to be filed, what's going to be said today, and we'll try to let you hear, because I think one of the local TV stations in Knoxville, they will be broadcasting this live. Aguilar's legal team, they're going to argue that the weight of case law is not in favor of the NCAA, even though the NCAA says it has defeated interim relief in many cases. In other words, when you get these temporary injunctions, the NCAA has had success, like you had in the Bediako case, where Bediako got the temporary, but then when he was looking for a preliminary injunction, they lost. Also, they're going to bring up Aguilar's team, and this is very interesting. I was telling Conrad this a little bit earlier. In a recent filing by Aguilar's team, they're going to compare his case against Bediako's. Now, you ask yourself, how's he going to do that? Because Bediako went to the pros, and then he came back. Aguilar never went to the UFL.
He never signed anything.
No, I mean, he's just a college football player. But Aguilar's team is going to compare his case with Bediako's. In the Bediako case, Southeastern Conference Commissioner Greg Sankey filed a declaration stating that permitting former professional athletes would create a competitive disadvantage for current student athletes. Notably, the new filing by Aguilar's team stated Sankey has not filed a declaration in the Aguilar case or in the Vanderbilt case with Diego Pavia. So they're trying to say, hey, look, the Southeastern Conference Commissioner doesn't have a problem with this.
That's a brilliant move on their part.
It is.
It's a brilliant move. And if you're an Alabama fan, you should be more pissed off at Greg Sankey today than you were a week ago when we were talking about this.
So Greg Sankey's not putting his name on an affidavit talking about how this is going to destroy the college atmosphere, the college game. And his attorneys today are going to use that affidavit against the University of Alabama and against Charles Bediako, and they're going to tell the judge, hey, judge, listen, if the SEC had a problem with it, don't you think that the commissioner of the conference would put his name on an affidavit?
Oh, it's a good play.
And say that the NCAA should win in this court? You're not going to see it. I mean, to me, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous, but I mean, you look at it and it's okay. So is it because they're quarterbacks at two big institutions. And I wonder, as part of it, right? You agree to the 9-game SEC schedule. Some people are ticked off and worried about how many teams are going to make the playoff. And if you're Greg Sankey, you're like, I kind of want these guys to be able to play because I want these teams to have the best chance to make the playoff so everyone's not mad at me
Wait, so you
anymore.
mean it's not about the integrity of the college athlete?
No, it's Greg Sankey covering his ass because he screwed the SEC.
This is about opening up another Pandora's box. We've had 1,000 that have been open since the transfer portal and NIL era. But this is more about football. It's more about football. And the fact that Charles Bediako actually competed in the pros. We can have the European conversation. I guess that's where he's differentiating, but a lot of it seems very disingenuous.
What have we said the whole time? If you're going to do for one, you need to do for all.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what we've said about the foreign basketball players.
Mhm.
Okay. Like whether they play in a pro league that you would say is the equivalent of a G League, or they play in the equivalent of an AAU league,
yeah.
or whatever the case may be. If you're going to let one, you need to let them all. If you're not going to let one, then don't let anybody.
Well,
that's what you need to do.
And it goes back to before we were going into courtrooms and some of these, we had the waiver request and we would have to wait months. Like the kid who wanted to go and play at a school because he was going to be right down the street from his mom who was dying of cancer.
It was the North Carolina kid a couple years ago. It took half the season before he was able to go.
So that was an instance. You've had multiple instances like that where the NCAA has been so hard-headed and not allowed it. That's why on some of this, and Charlie Baker was a part of those decisions. It was another president, it was Emmert, and Miles Brand. But the organization that you're representing has on countless occasions limited opportunities for petty reasons, I think, that we can all agree on.
And just like yesterday, we fully anticipate that he is going to be granted an injunction.
Of course he is.
I mean, and it could be listen, he could make a judgment the moment that both sides rest. Now, the judge yesterday decided to take an hour off and either go take a nap or, play canasta in the back room with the bailiff, whatever he was doing before he came out and did his grandiose 1 hour and 15-minute diatribe on the case. But this dude, he might decide, I got nothing else to see here. I mean, it's done. There you go. Here's your injunction. Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weekend.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it's a one-to-one comparison, but it is like 99% the same thing as the Diego Pavia case.
Yeah.
And there's already been a precedent set there, so it should take 10 minutes.
I took a screenshot last night just to give you an idea, and it was Tom Mars who was commenting. And I'll try to find it, but going back to Tom Mars and what he said about the attorneys leaving the courtroom, he said that he'd never seen anything like it. Ever. That dude's been in a lot of courtrooms.
Well, we'll see if the NCAA attorneys, who are now 1-1 this week, they got the big win in Tuscaloosa. They take the L in Mississippi. Now they're off to Rocky Top, and we'll see if they go under 500 in the SEC.
That's quite the stretch.
Nice.
And who would have ever thought they would have picked up the road win in T-Town?
That's the biggest shock in the world.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Conrad's in there shaking his head, going, "Wow."
We're just watching it in real time. Conrad just destroyed emotionally. Don't break anything. Come on, it's Friday, buddy.
No, if it was LeBaron Philon, I'd be furious.
Yeah. Charles Bediako and his 10 points, maybe not.
We can move on from that.
If it was the Philon, I think that
I'd be banging on a door downtown next to a protective stadium.
One of the Ole Miss sites had 84,000 people watching yesterday.
Man.
84,000.
That's more than Vaught Hemingway holds.
I know.
That's a great point. Well, I told Paz, that's the entire state population.
That's a capacity Vaught Hemingway and a full Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 12:30. We'll keep you posted on that. Coming up on the show, we'll talk to Wimp Sanderson at the bottom of the hour. 11 o'clock, Mike Rodak. 12 noon, Tom Hart from the SEC Network and ESPN. We're going to talk a little basketball with Tom. We'll also talk to Brett Norsworthy, the Southern gentleman.
No.
He will join the program at 12:30.
It's never too soon to wear a sucker.
Nope. We'll talk to him about the big decision yesterday with Trinidad. This is a football Friday, a courtroom Friday a
We do
Freaky
have Olympics
Friday.
going on.
We do have Olympics. We'll keep you posted there as well. So a lot happening. Phone calls are coming in. 1-800-239-WJOX. Coach Wimp Sanderson is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, brought to you by Craneworks. Mike Rodak a little bit later in the program. Tom Hart from the SEC Network talks some basketball with Tom. Catch up with Tom. It's been a minute or two since you and I talked to Tom. Brett Norsworthy.
I loved him with the Hart Foundation.
From WHBQ. He will join us, part of the Ole Miss Radio Network as well, about the Trinidad Channels. But let's go to the phones on this Football Friday.
Marty is in Springville, 800-239-WJOX. Hey, Marty, how are you? Happy Friday.
Oh, thank you, guys. Appreciate the phone call here. Yeah, quickly, I'm an old traditionalist, football fan, love the SEC, been in Birmingham, Alabama pretty much in my entire life. And what I see that really bothers me the most out of waiting, we're all on pins and needles waiting to see what's going to happen with this case with Ole Miss, is the loss of the amateur athlete. That was the beauty of the Olympics before. That's what made, 1980 when America beat Russia in the Olympics was the beauty of it, is you had a bunch of college guys or amateur athletes going up there and really whipping a professional hockey team with Russia. So what we've seen, and to me, I blame the NCAA on all of this, just losing their teeth. A lot of it started, I hate to say this, I'm a big Alabama fan, so it upset me even more in 2010 with all the Cam Newton. Apparently there was plenty of evidence, plenty of this, plenty of that, but the NCAA let whatever go, and it really began to lose their teeth and the grip they had, I guess the power that they had. So now that you're paying these athletes, and I can't stand it. My son's the exact opposite. He loves it. He thinks it's great. You know, he's 23 years old and bulletproof, and he's like, they ought to deserve millions if they can get it.
Sure.
But to me, the loss of the amateur athlete, and now that you're paying these guys, they're not college athletes anymore. They're in college, but they're professional athletes. So with all the Bediako stuff, and even though I'm a huge Alabama fan, I was very much against him being able to play just because of all this. But now that you've allowed them to get paid, it's no different than if a guy is going to play for the Lakers for 1 week, and then he runs over and plays for the Knicks for 1 week, and then he comes back. I mean, you're all just basically dealing with professional contracts or whatever's going to go on with that. And it drives me crazy that we're having to sit here and go through this with all these people who play football for 6 years. You know, I played at Sanford for a couple of years back in the Bowden days, and you had 5 years to get 4 playing years in, period.
Yep.
And all this JUCO mess, guess what? You're still playing ball. So it drives me absolutely crazy that we're sitting here waiting on these decisions when the decision should already be made. The decision should be no. This is what we're going to do. And I wish the NCAA would step up and say, this is how you're going to do it, or don't play in the NCAA. Go NAIA and be a stud, you know, at Reinhardt in Atlanta or wherever it is. But it drives me crazy that we're doing this. I just hate the loss of the amateur athlete. That was the beauty of college. That was the beauty of the Olympics. And don't get me wrong, I love the Dream Team when they played. That was a blast to watch them play. But it really did mess up what I always loved about the non-pro players, because there's plenty of time for that, plenty of money for that. So I'm an old traditionalist, and I hate all this stuff, but I guess that's the new world we live in. So whether Bediako plays or whoever from wherever plays, I guess we deal with it. But I hate the loss of the amateur athlete.
Marty, I think we all do. Thank you. Appreciate it. A lot of us do. Now, I appreciate that. I still love college football and college athletics, but we look at a lot of these guys and gals a little bit differently.
Well, it's just like a few years ago when if your favorite team, you know, you don't have, I'm talking about professional, not college, but your favorite team, whether you're a Braves fan or a Cardinals fan, you're not going to have the lifetime ball player that is going to come up in your minor league system and spend the next 15 years with the same team. Like, they're going to opt out in about 4 or 5 years, get that big new free agent deal, and they'll go off somewhere else. Well, now it's just been multiplied in the college game. You're not even getting a couple years out of these kids. I mean, you're getting one, and they're off to somewhere else.
I used to memorize like the 3 deep for Auburn and Alabama. I don't bother doing it anymore.
You shouldn't. I mean, because it's a fluid situation.
No,
not until you get ready a couple weeks before the first game should you waste any time.
And it still blows me away the start of every college football season. And I know everybody in this room can raise their hand. You'll come across a name and go, "Oh yeah, he's there."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
understand what you're saying, Marty.
Yeah,
but I don't want it to go away. If we got to pay him to have it to watch as a fan, you got to pay him.
If you got a dangerous tree leaning over your house or maybe branches blocking your view, call Golston Tree Service today, 205-337-4443. Need to call Golston, get them out to your house, take a look at your situation before we start getting these spring storms. Golston's licensed pros, they're going to handle everything from trimming to pruning to full tree removals, fast, safe, and affordable. They've also got that 24-hour emergency tree service. So put the number in your phone, Golston Tree Service, 205-337-4443.
One coach that knows nothing about paying players, Wimp Sanderson, joining us next.
We will talk to Coach Wimp Sanderson momentarily, brought to you by our good friends at Crane Works, as Wimp Sanderson will have plenty to talk about with SEC basketball in full swing.
Well, remember, flu season is here, so make your home healthier with Trane's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles, including those that cause virus. It's 100 times more effective than standard air filters and 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. So go and find a dealer near you at Trane.com.
Our favorite time of the week. It's the Coach Wimp Sanderson, presented by our friends at Crane Works.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Crane Works, Rental Works, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Wimp Sanderson on Three Man Front is brought to you by Crane Works. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Wimp Sanderson.
I faced it all, and I...
And now a great American in his own right,
Yeah.
Coach Wimp Sanderson. Hey, Coach.
Well, Pat, will you tell Landon something for me?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Would you tell him that I gave Derek McKee's mother a birthday card, and that was all I gave?
Yes, sir. I will. Landrum,
That's
Coach wants me to tell you that
Okay.
he only gave Derek McKee's mom a birthday card.
Well, that's
you
not-
understand?
That's not what Sonny said.
I'll tell you what. There's one other thing. I'll be honest. We had our hair fixed.
Oh,
Oh,
took her
now
to
it's
the beauty
coming
parlor.
out.
Beauty parlor, right?
Was there a McDonald's bag anywhere?
No, with no McDonald's.
Okay.
I Landon was on my fanny bag. Okay.
Coach, I
Basketball,
love you.
football today.
Statute of limitations. You're good.
Football, basketball day. Basketball, Auburn is at Arkansas. They better play well. Auburn's on the bubble as far as I'm concerned about getting in the NCAA. They still got some games they can win, but I think you're a little bit bubbly. Alabama plays South Carolina. I think South Carolina. You have to look. The South. If I'm trying to tell my kids against a team that can't beat anybody, if they beat us, it's just like Auburn beating us. Somebody else beating us. It all counts one win or one loss. So back up, George. If we're ready to play, we beat South Carolina. If we're not ready to play, they beat us, and that ain't good. So Kentucky and Florida playing. They got two games to play. Both of those going to be in the NCAA. Florida is playing better than anybody in the league. It's no contest. They're big and they're strong and they play well. They didn't shoot it real good from the guard position early. I'm going to talk some football in a minute, so don't hang up, everybody. And so Kentucky is played a lot better, even though they've had some problems. They won't beat Florida at Florida. I don't know what the line is, but they ain't gonna beat them at Florida. So, South Carolina, Alabama, Auburn, and Arkansas, and then both of these two teams in state will play Wednesday. They don't play. They don't play on Tuesday. They play on Wednesday. So another game. So. I don't know what questions you have.
Coach,
I would say right now that Florida's going to win the league.
Okay. Question going back to Auburn, and I agree. I think that it could get really dicey if they don't start playing better. I know you're not trying to coach Stevens' team, but when you watch Auburn, what's going on? Where's the breakdown?
I think the breakdown is defending the three. I think they talk about defending the three, and they defend the three a little bit better early in the games. But I think as time goes on, they don't defend the three as well.
Okay.
I felt like when they played Alabama, if they had gone inside a lot more than they were going, and that's the offensive end, they could have beaten Alabama, but they didn't. But I think defending the three. I think the other factor is I get concerned about guys who don't take free throws seriously. You go through a routine to shoot a free throw. You either dribble it 3 times, you dribble it twice, you don't dribble it at all. Whatever your routine is to do it, and you raise your elbow. If you raise your elbow, for all you people that listen to our show, you raise your elbow, you get the right kind of arc on your shot. And I think the big kid, who's a very good player for them, is missing too many free throws. So to answer your question, I think not doing a good job of defending the three and going to the free throw line and not making the free throws, I think it's hurt them some. I think they've got a good team. I think he's done a pretty decent job, But going to Arkansas is not going to be easy. He's got another game with Alabama. He has beaten Georgia. I know the three teams they play. They have been to Ole Miss and won. That was big. Most people do. They did lose to Georgia. Got Georgia coming to their place. So I think it's iffy. I'm saying maybe 9 teams in the NCAA. Most people are saying 10, maybe 8, maybe 9. I think 9 probably for sure. I could be dead wrong. It could be 10. So I think that's a situation there. But the way Florida's playing, they're playing a notch above everybody. Kentucky's, as I said, is playing much. But Tennessee, I told y'all on this show that I thought the 3 teams that Alabama played that they would be 5-1 or 6-0. Well, they've already lost 1, but they've won the rest. They're going to win the rest of them. So they could be about there. They could be 4-2, but I think they're probably going to be 5-1 when they get to their 3 teams. So.
Coach,
Texas and Missouri. Go ahead.
No, I was actually going to bring up Texas. You mentioned the fact that Auburn right now is kind of limping with that 3-game losing streak. I was going to ask you about the Longhorns because they're at 6-5, just above 500, and now Texas A&M. We all knew it because you talked about it a couple weeks ago that Texas A&M, their schedule was going to be very difficult for Bucky on the back end of the SEC, and so far that's exactly what's happened.
Well, Missouri, I thought Missouri would lose to him. Bucky does a very good job of coaching. His team is not real great inside, but and Missouri ends up with a 1-point victory. And Texas and Missouri play each other. They're playing at Missouri. Texas better play to beat them. I think both of those could get in. I could be dead wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong when the time comes, or just one of those 2 teams will get in. So. I think it's close there. A few more teams. I don't know that the United States has got the kind of teams. Maybe there's one other league. The league of Houston's in might be a little bit better, but I think Texas and Missouri with Auburn are kind of on the borderline of getting in. I'm not sure exactly where to go there. So it's going to be interesting. NCAA, selection committee is going to be big. Who's on the committee? Picking you. The problems that Alabama have with Bediako, what I can understand is will not cost them for the games that they won. Now I've tried to study that, and there'll be people booing me or whatever. I'm just telling you what I've tried to study, and the best I can find out that it will not cost them. You can argue whether it should or shouldn't. I'm not here. I'm not going to argue that with you because I was there too long. So I don't really want to argue that point with you. Anything else on the basketball before I go to the football?
I did want to ask you because I was curious. You being a historic part of this league and in basketball, Coach, what do you think? I'm not asking you your opinion on Bediako, but how do you think, besides Chris Beard, how do you think the rest of the SEC head basketball coaches reacted to Bediako being named eligible for that 5-game span? If you were
probably about like Bruce Pearl did.
Okay.
But didn't make it public.
Yeah,
he made it public. And Nate came out and made some good points as well. And the Ole Miss coach, who I know pretty well, is a good basketball coach. Didn't have the material it needs to have. But I think that it was negative. I don't know how negative, and I'm not on here to say it should or shouldn't be. I just don't need to get into that fuss. Now, most of the time, guys like me need to get into a fuss to keep the thing going, but I really don't want to. I think it is what it's going to be, and we'll just sort of see what happens. As far as I don't think it's going to knock Alabama out of getting in the NCAA for the games that they've lost. So we'll see what happens there. I want to make a couple of football comments to you.
Okay.
I think that because of Indiana, that some of the schools will take teams or take players from the transfer portal that are not necessarily 5-stars. I think because Indiana won with good-looking guys who are strong and physical and tough, but not stars, that's going to affect those teams a little bit more. Because you don't get a 5-star. I know Alabama fans are upset about Alabama not getting a 5-star. Auburn is okay because they got South Florida's team coming in there, the quarterback and the whole team coming in there. The prognostication on shows that people I've had on my show have been LSU, Georgia, and Texas is having the best chance to improve. I don't know whether Georgia can improve much more. Improve next year with the portal the way it is. So those three teams right there, I think people have sort of looked down on Alabama because they haven't gotten a lot of 5 stars. I think they have gotten guys who they think can play. You have to understand, you two guys know this, y'all are very good. Evaluation is the key. You got to be able to evaluate guys who can come in and play for you. You can talk about getting this star or that star, but if you can't evaluate them and evaluate them in the right way and know they can play for you, and hey, you're gonna make some mistakes. We have to in NFL make some mistakes all the time on quarterbacks. They don't know who to get half the time, so that bugs me a little bit. Aguilar bothers me some. I don't like. I'm a 5 years to play 4 rule. That's me. Play 5 years in order to play 4. I hate to see a guy who has been to a junior college get some more time. I think it hurts you because all the guys that go to junior colleges and you pick up junior college guys, there'll be an influx of people wanting to go another year. My theory is, 5 to play 4 is the way it should be. You two guys have talked about it earlier. Talk about that to our listeners again. Am I wrong on that? I don't like the junior college situation at all. I played a 2 in a junior college. Well, I got sick that time. I don't like the mix of junior colleges and being able to go to the 4-year.
I wonder if we adjust. Do we adjust our stance on it? Because now, and I agree with a lot of what you said, Coach, about the junior colleges. But now some of those guys, are they forced to go to junior college because there's not as many scholarships available coming out of high school because of the transfer portal and a lot of the upperclassmen getting those deals?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that could be true, but also the scholarship number is increased.
Right.
As you know.
Yes.
The number is very, very big now. I don't know the answer. Pat, you got any comment on that?
No, I mean, listen, Coach, I'm like you. I like the fact that you had 5 years to play 4. And if that meant JUCO, include that as well. But, of course, now the legal court system, just like what you saw with Trinidad yesterday, I mean, everyone's going to fight that. And on top of that, what makes it even more confusing, Coach, for everyone, including us, is that the COVID year. The COVID year, all of a sudden that's just completely wiped off everyone's resume, and everyone gets an extra year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They've used that to you're going to a small town in Mississippi yesterday when the judge made the ruling. You knew what it was going to be, and I did too. And right or wrong, here's another factor: the evaluation of that quarterback. To see that he was a division below the Ole Miss, below Ole Miss, to see that he could play and to get him, you compare that to what? And I'm not knocking Auburn because I got a bunch of friends down there. Auburn goes and gets a guy from Oklahoma. Well, the evaluation at Ole Miss was much better than the evaluation at Auburn. It just was. I mean, it's okay, but it was, and so it pretty much cost the guy's job. So you have to have good recruiters. I always felt like I was decent in recruiting. Let me tell you something. I misevaluated at times too. I made mistakes on guys who I thought could play. I missed on their ability sometimes. I missed on their want to sometimes. I got a few that nobody else wanted, and they turned out to be really good. But evaluation is a big deal. So. I just made the comment. I just feel like what Indiana did in football to go and get guys from where they got them, and strong physical guys who weren't 5 stars, and they got them, makes people not worry about the stars so much. Do you all not feel that way? Or
no, I agree 100%. No, it's about talent evaluation, because just like when you were back recruiting, Coach. I mean. I know you probably didn't pay attention to a recruiting service because you had your measurables. You had your formula of who you liked and what you wanted to see and your system that you wanted to run. Whereas,
that's right.
And that's exactly what Signetti did. I mean, Signetti's gone out and said, forget about all these recruiting experts. I know this kid can play football in my system. And that, of course, has paid off the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, Alabama, for example, their system is to get shooters. they got 4 or 5 of them.
Right. Not
Get
defense.
shooters. I don't care how they look. Yeah, I'm not gonna get that. But
I know.
But get shooters.
Right.
And they've gotten shooters, and they've done great with shooters. So you're exactly right what you say. You get what you feel like is best for your team and what you've got coming back. And the transfer portal has made teams. Look, we had not before last, the last 4 games. The visiting team won every game. The other night when 4 teams played, the visiting team won every game. It's transfer portal. It's getting, everybody's getting pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
well, Coach David Upton, our good friend, brings us the opportunity to talk to you each and every week.
Well, David's terrific, and Craneworks is even better than David is. They've had 30 years of training experience, and they know exactly how to build it up or tear it down. Rental Works is the same way. The one thing about Rental Works, now I've done some ads for Rental Works, is I've gone in there and I didn't know exactly how to work the machine. Guess what? They brought an operator.
Yep.
And the operator came in and helped me because I'm dumb in the Red Rock. So I didn't know how to do it. So they showed me how to do it, and I finally caught on. So go to Craneworks, take a look at what they do, get on craneworks.com, and I think you'll be very satisfied. I appreciate you guys. I just kind of jumped around this morning.
No, it was great, Coach.
I know to do basketball, and I wanted to mention the Aguilar thing is it kind of bothers me a little bit with junior college stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Coach.
it.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a great weekend. That's Coach Wimp Sanderson, brought to you each and every week by Craneworks. More 3-man front coming up. Great conversation as always with Coach Wimp Sanderson, brought to you by Craneworks. SEC basketball this weekend. Alabama and Auburn both play at night at the same time. You can hear the game Auburn between Arkansas. That is a 7:30 tip-off. Whose idea it was to have a Valentine's night game for both Alabama and Auburn?
It's a cheap date.
I should have done
If you're a
that.
student, it's
Why
a
didn't you
cheap
take
date.
Paige to the Alabama-Arkansas? Alabama, South Carolina.
Yeah, I
game?
didn't even think about that. She wanted to go to like a nice restaurant or something.
Just wait till next Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's on the Super
It's on
Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Would you propose at an Alabama or Auburn or a SEC basketball game?
No, I'm not a big fan of the public
None either.
engagement.
I didn't know if that was something you wanted to do.
That ship has sailed for me, unfortunately.
No.
We're talking about the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one about 10 years.
She
maybe.
trades you in for the
For Bucky.
Yeah, for the newer
I
model.
didn't want to say that.
The Bucky model, yeah.
Cheer up. How about our friends at Noto Roofing, locally owned and operated, just great folks at Sammy and Matt Noto. I've known these guys for a long time. They've got great professionals and they're built on reputation. Chris, one of their talented professionals, almost 3 decades in the business. He's going to walk your house, walk your roof. He's going to be very honest and open about the function of your roof, not just needing a new roof. He's not going to recommend one if you don't need one, but also is your flashing working around your chimney, your gutters? Is it working properly? Free inspections to all Jocks listeners. Financing, if you need help with the payments, they'll work alongside the insurance companies and will assist in the claims process if you need that as well. All kinds of warranties, just great company. Try them out. Get the free quote today. Noto Roofing, N-O-T-O roofing.com, 205-848-2299. Say yes to Noto. That's N-O-T-O roofing.com.
Hour number 1 in the books. Hour 2 straight ahead. Mike Rodak will kick things off in a matter of moments from Bama 247. Also later on, Tom Hart from the SEC Network. Brett Norsworthy as well on this Friday edition of Jocks.